In today's video, I'm going to have a look at how to germinate spores onto an agar plate. Now, I'm going to be using the king oyster spores that I collected in one of the earlier videos I did. Just start off with just a bit of ISO on my hands. Make sure my hands are nice and sterile. The flow hood's already been wiped down and is sterile and ready to go. And I have sterilised my little spoon, which I'm going to be used to scraping the spores from the spore print we did onto the agar plate. Agar plates already. So we take the parafilm off, and we're now ready to use that. Now, if we open our king oyster spore print that we did the other day, you remember the spore print was a nice white spore print we've got here. Now, you'll be amazed at how few spores you actually need to get successful germination onto an agar plate. Now, the way I usually do it is just fold the aluminium foil halfway along the spore print, and if we get our sterile spoon and just give it a little tiny scrape, just that little tiny scrape, picking up millions and millions of spores off the spore print. You can probably see that little white on the end of the spoon. Now, if we take our lid off our agar plate, the way I like to do it is not do a streak or move it around too much, just do a couple of dabs onto the surface of the agar, and we'll have a look at this under the microscope a little bit later to see what we have transferred onto the agar plate. Now, next thing to do is obviously just get your parafilm. You don't need to use parafilm, you can use grafter's tape, micropolar tape. Got the parafilm. So that's nicely sealed up. We're just also going to label this. So we know what we've got. King oyster spores. Now, because I've done that with the little spoon, can you see you've got lots of little lines there on the agar plate? They're a lot easier to identify where you put your spores than if you just scrape them and let them drop on. So we'll take that over to the microscope and we will have a look and see if we can actually see any spores on the agar plate. Right, we've got the petri dish under the microscope, and we're just going to see if we can find any spores. I don't know, it is where we dabbed at the end of the little spoon on the agar. I think you can see there we've got loads, millions and millions of spores there, successfully dumped onto the agar plate. What we're wanting is for two of those spores to join together, and then we'll get a new mycelial network forming on the agar plate, which we can then use to make some liquid culture in the future. Absolutely loads of spores. So, successful spore print made and successful transfer of spores onto our agar plate. Alright, we've got another place on the agar plate there where we dabbed our spoon. Absolutely millions and millions of spores there, ready to germinate. Now, as I say, you can do this method for germinating any type of spores that you can obtain on the internet from a spore print. And once you've got a nice colony, mycelial colony going on the agar, you can then use that to do an agar to liquid culture transfer, as we've done in another video. Or we can chop the agar up and chuck it directly as little wedges into our sterilised grain jars. Now, what we're going to do with this agar plate, I'm going to stick it in the incubator for let's say 7 days, and we might come back and have another look, see how it's doing. So there you go, simple way getting spores ready to germinate, transferring them from a spore print.